And where did it go from there? What was your next step after jumping on cable there?
My next book. Let's see. My next step.
Did you go back to Malibu? Did you stay
Wait,
with?
Let me tell you my cocky next step. The next year at San Diego, or no, not San Diego. Once again at WonderCon. Remember, this was '92 when I broke in. It was the year they announced Image. So '93, Image was like Guns N' Roses, right? The line for people to sign, it was like, I just remember this part. Rob, Jim, Silvestri. I don't know where everyone else was.
Yeah.
Because I had drawn a piece of Wildcats fighting Cyberforce, and I had a pro badge, so I was all that. And so I took the inked piece, which Matt had inked over me, and I walked past the security because I had a pro badge, and I walked up to Jim Lee, and I dropped it in his face, and in front of like a mile of fans waiting for his signature. And I said, "I just thought you might like to see that."
I love it. I love the confidence.
The arrogance. Oh my gosh. And he said, "Oh yeah, he's all that's it's really good. It's pretty good." It's like, so he took one of his posters that he was handing out, and he wrote his phone number on it, and he said, "Hey, why don't you call me up and send me some stuff in?" And then I went back and I was like, "Oh yeah, Jim Lee likes my stuff." So I went back and I had the photocopy of just the pencils, right? So I'm like, he might want to see this. So I walked back up to him and I was like, "Oh, Jim, I thought you might want to just see the pencils." And he looks at the pencils of this one freaking piece and he goes, "Where do you live?" I go, "San Jose." And he's like, "How would you like to move to San Diego?" And I'm like, "What?" He's like, he's like, "Yeah." So he hired me on the spot. I was the talk of the convention.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was like talking to other, like Moose Bauman and who else was with him?
What show was this?
WonderCon, 1993.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was.
So this was exactly a year after you you went to Malibu for the first time.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And Jim Lee was like, "Okay, you're in. Let's go."
Yeah.
And this was at Wildstorm at the first time. So this was your first like experience at Wildstorm.
Let me continue the story. I didn't end up at Wildstorm.
Oh.
Even though, well, maybe I shouldn't get into that. I don't want to step on toes. It's the deal was made, offered, accepted, codified, and then reneged. So the details of it aren't important, but I didn't end up at Wildstorm. I ended up moving down later that year. I moved down on my own.
Oh, wow.
After San Diego Comic-Con. Got together with my wife then.
Yeah.
And have been with her ever since. And I started working for Wildstorm, sort of. I mean, I was on contract, so I was never an intern there.
Yeah.
I never had office space there. After but I was always doing work there. I was in there probably 2 or 3 times a week sometimes. So I was kind of part of the studio, but I was like still like had a foot outside the door.
Yeah.
And so one time I did ask Jim, I was like, I'm doing all this work. I'm like, "Do you want me to be a part of the studio?" And he's like, "Well, you'd have to be in the intern pool." I'm like, "Dude, I've been a professional comic book artist for like 3 years now. You want me to be
Go back to the intern pool?
3 years. 26 years later.